Good evening.
I'm going to peel out of here because I need to see if I can find my kitty cat. He's been gone since
Oh,
this morning. We got skunked last night, so I was up all night trying to breathe. And
uh-oh.
it was a mess. And I cleaned, thank you, Marcia. Okay, I appreciate it. Had to clean him off, brush him, clean him with the hydrogen peroxide, and I haven't seen him since. And that was about 10 this morning, 10:30.
How old is he?
He's uh 8.
8.
Yeah, he's not very old. He's been fixed, but he's never been gone this long. I don't know what's going on with him. Usually he comes to the back door and wants in, and he'll come in for a few minutes, eat something, and go back out. But he hasn't been here. He eats a lot. But yeah, he hasn't eaten anything since this morning, so I don't know what's going on with him. I hope he's all
Uh-oh.
right. Gotta go out and see if I mowed everything today, and I didn't see him when I was mowing, so I don't know where he's at.
Mm. Oh. Do you have a lot of wild animals where you're at?
Well, I've got a 5-foot fence around the property. He can get out from under it though. He's
Mm-hmm.
fasting. Thank you, Padiz. And thanks, Nancy. But yeah, he can get out, and I think he does get out sometimes and pops around, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't, like I said, usually he's at the door, like waiting for me. The cat door, I cleaned it because it smelled like skunk when I cleaned it because he got sprayed too. He got some on him, I guess, from because that's one of the reasons I mowed, just to get the weeds down because of the skunk dragging his tail through the weeds. And if the cat goes on the same trail, which he does, he gets that crap all over him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had a skunk hit the bedroom last night. It was like, I am up like my window's good, but 10, 15 feet above the ground, but it was like somebody dumped skunk juice on me. It was just disgusting. At first I thought it was Haas, but it wasn't. But he got some of it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happened to him. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
I'll go
I
look
hope
for
he
him.
comes back.
Me too. Yeah, because I just lost the other one a year ago this month. So
Oh
it's,
no.
yeah, I don't want to lose both of them. Anyway, I gotta go out and take a flashlight out and call him. So you have a great show, and I'm gonna be outside looking for a skunky kitty.
Well, if you find him, if you get a chance and come back on, you can. I just,
Okay. Well, thank you.
uh, okay. Well, you
Okay.
good luck in finding him. I hope he comes back.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you. Chop
All
chop
right.
it.
Okay. That was Chris Croy, everybody. So this is the Thursday morning edition of On the Wing and a Prayer, saying on Patriots Soapbox, Thursday mornings, 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern, so adjust for your time zone. And then also on Saturday evenings, 7 to now, used to be 9, but now 10 p.m. Eastern. Again, adjust for your time zone. And, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do on Saturdays for the next few weeks, probably month or so, until probably the end of October, because football seasons is coming, and so it's going to be. And since my grandson is in a different age category, the times are going to be different. So it's going to be fun. Oh, it's going to be fun to see him play with his teammates, and they were their division. They were champions for their division last year, so they got a they got a tough road ahead because they are going to have to defend their title. So in the meantime, I'm going to play my show opener, and then we will get on with it. It's like, I don't know what I'm going to do for 3 hours, but we'll figure it out. Okay. Let me get my show opener, and I'll be right back. Oh, by the way, if you're going to stick around, put up a 1 in chat. So, yep. And I'll be right back.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all of the fiery darts of the wicked one. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, being watchful to this end with all the perseverance and supplication for all the saints, and for me, that utterance may be given to me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in chains, and willfully so, that in it I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. Amen.
Father God, I ask now for an impartation of your Holy Spirit. May the fullness of the Spirit of Jesus rest upon President Trump, that he be anointed with wisdom and understanding, with your counsel and might, with knowledge and fear of the Lord. And accordingly, may President Trump not judge by what he sees with his eyes, or decide by what he hears with his ears, or lean on his own understanding, but may he recognize your prompting and move according to your guidance. I ask that you give the President supernatural discernment to know who is trustworthy and who is not. Bring into the light all deception and intrigue. Expose and reverse the plans of those who would harm President Trump and this nation. In the name of Jesus, I break off all voices and influence that do not come from you, Father God. May your truth and peace surround and reign in the White House. God, you have raised up President Trump to govern at a time when there is a resurgence of oppression. Only you, Lord Jesus Christ, can anoint him to have victories over strongholds and to establish justice for the needy. Give him strength and courage to persevere in the constant battle that surrounds him, and refresh him. Father God, I see that you have such a tender heart for President Trump. Draw him close to you. I ask now for an impartation of hunger for you, so that he may love you with all his heart, soul, mind, and strength, and delight in knowing you. And if he came and whispering your name, may he go forward shouting your name. In Jesus' name, in the name of my King, I bless you.
Okay, so how is everybody out there? I know everybody is interested in the shooter, so let me give kind of a roll call. So I see Kinsley Wren is out there, P. Dizzle, Clifford. Good evening, good morning. It's still Wednesday evening on my neck of the woods, so but Kahuna, Heavens Declare, Poe 5 is out there, and so I will. So before we get to talk, everybody's talking about the shooting that took place today. But you know what? Before we go to the shooting, I want to talk about something else before everybody decides it's too late. I need to go get some sleep. So does anybody have their cell phone available? So I want y'all to check something on your cell phone, okay? Hey, Red Pill Red, good morning. So get your cell phone now, I don't know how. I mean, I've got an iPhone. Yeah, I was scammed to getting an iPhone. I started off with a Galaxy, and when I went to turn it in and get a uh, 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 upgrade, they talked me into saying, "No, get an iPhone." So go ahead, get your. So if you have a way of check it, I want y'all to check out something real quick and check out the calendar. Okay, let's do a kind of a thing. Let's look at the calendar. Anybody, give me a one if you've got your cell phone and you're ready to check out your calendar. Uh, and then we'll kind of talk about so, okay, Clifford, I see Clifford's got his cell phone. All right, well, Clifford, so what I want y'all to do, check out, look at your, okay, who else got their cell phone? Heavens Declare, got your cell phone. It's happening. So look. Go to, let's start with April 15th, the 2026. What do you see? Okay, we're going to start with something simple. Let me know when y'all get there. Let me know when you check out April 15th, 2026. Mm-hmm. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, well, I'm not getting many responses, but now check out April 15th, 2027. What do you see? So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I got a dot. I get a dot to let me know if you check out. What do you see on April 15th of 2007? I mean, 2027, sorry. Did you catch it? Nothing, right? And we all know what is April 15th in the US? That, my friends, is tax day. So why do you think that the calendar would not have tax day? And if you can even go 2028, 2029, 2030. Now, go back to April 2007, or 27, sorry. And if you notice, there's a couple of dots, okay? And let's see. Hold on, I'm going to check out 2026 first. Okay, that's Easter. Okay, so go back. And I don't know anything about this, but go back 2026. Check out, and what does April the 21st and 22nd say on 2027? So if you go to April the 21st and 22nd, it says Passover. I really believe, and this is something I've been talking about for quite some time now, and I got pushbacks, people saying, no, we can't do it. So my belief, if you go back and look at your calendar and start looking, wait a minute, before I talk about that, let me go to, okay, April 26th, and go in November of April 26th, and you see November 26th of April 26th, November 26th, and the 27th of 2026. What do you get? Three things line 5th, 6th, and 15th. So what do you get on November 26th and 27th? You get the day, you get Thanksgiving Day and the day after Thanksgiving. Now, skip down to November. Let me see. Let me get it. If you go down to November 25th, you have Thanksgiving Day, but if you notice, there is nothing about November 26th being the day after Thanksgiving. You know why they have November 26th as after the day Thanksgiving? It's because of Wall Street. Or the bank. Actually, it's the bank. You think about it, because I think there's a federal law or something that banks can't be shut down more than 24 hours. That's the reason why you have banking now on half days on Saturdays. But Wall Street or the markets close the day after Thanksgiving at noon or 1 o'clock Eastern the day after Thanksgiving. So they have to have some workforce, some skeleton crew. So think about that. Do you have it, Clifford? I mean, on 2027, you have, what do you have? If you go to November the 25th of 2027, which is the day of Thanksgiving and the day. Anyway, I was looking on my phone, and I don't know. And I've noticed a lot of Hebrew holidays are showing up on my phone. I haven't changed anything. So my guess, you have nothing, right? Okay, go back to November the 26th on... look at November 26th and November 27th on the year 2026. What do you get? I'm kind of waiting. So if there's a pause, I'm kind of waiting. You get nothing on November the 26th of 2000, or November 27th on 2026. Interesting. Because on 2026 and November 26th, the date is November 26th of 2026, which would be Thanksgiving. And then when you go to November 27th, it says day after Thanksgiving. So, at least that's on my calendar. I don't know. I'm checking on my phone, so I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, so I thought that was interesting. So it looks like tax day is we still have this next year, but it looks like after the year 2026, no more tax day. So, and like I said, if you look at some of the other dates on the calendar dates, I'm seeing some holidays. Yours is a Samsung calendar? Yeah, mine's on my Apple. So, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? But thank you for playing, Clifford. Thank you for checking it out with me, because that means things are happening, I think. I think things are happening. The calendars are being changed, because I don't remember a time when, if you check the calendars, that like April the 15th has always been tax day. November, the Friday after Thanksgiving has always been mentioned. You know what I can do here? Let me check this out. Let me check this out. All right. Ooh, CDC Director Susan Monterez has been removed. Ooh, maybe we can get into that in a minute. Uh, so, I still believe that we need to. I still think we need to get back to the Hebrew calendar. Okay, so here we go. Cancel. All right, let me. So here we go. Here's what we can do. Uh, what the? Oh, come on, don't tell me I can't do that. Seriously? Okay. So here's for the next 3 years. So we have January 1st. I wonder why January 1st is not listed. Oh, that would be because it falls on a weekend. Because let's see, January 1st fell on Monday this year. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, that wouldn't be right. Hold on. Let me look at this again. Let me see my calendar. But the New York Stock Exchange, that would tell you a lot. Because they already have these things. Okay, yeah. So January the 1st falls on the 28th, falls on the Monday. So you got Martin Luther King Day, Washington's birthday, you got Good Friday, you got Memorial Day, you got Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving. They used to, yeah, like I said, they stock the markets. Okay. So December the 25th. Oh, that's weird. Because January, I'm telling you, because January, my birthday, Christmas, and New Year's all fall on the same day. So if the 25th was on a Monday or Saturday, I'm sorry, in 2028, there wouldn't be a need to. This is kind of interesting. The day following Thanksgiving. 27th, 26th. Okay, so here they have it as the day following, which is a partial holiday. So, did I find that fully closed on New Year's Eve? Why would they, in New Year or Christmas Eve, which is the 24th? Okay, Christmas falls on the. But I find it weird. Well, maybe not. Well, no, I take that back. Nope, never mind. Okay, never mind. I understand why that wouldn't show up after all. And then nope, I guess I'm making a big deal out of nothing, but I think the fact that the 15th is, I think that the 15th is no longer showing up after the 2026. I think that's significant. So, okay, because the 24th would be a Friday, which would make, gosh, I can't even remember what day my birthday falls on this year. I usually can remember. I'm getting bad. Okay, so let me think here. Let me talk this out for a second. So this year, come on. So the 23rd is on a Thursday this year, which makes next year so Thursday, which would make the 25th a Thursday. That would be Friday. Okay, the 24th, so that would be Saturday, which would mean that would be Saturday. Then this would be, because it's a leap year, this would put it on Monday. Okay. And then Christmas Eve, they're going to have Christmas Eve closed all day long. Alright. But I thought it was interesting because if you looked at the calendar does not refer to November the 26th as being a holiday, a day after, at least not on my calendar. And of course, they do keep of course, I did notice they keep the holiday going. Juneteenth is still, we need to get rid of Juneteenth, I think, in my opinion. I think we need to get rid of Wall Street too. Again, that's my opinion. Okay. But I thought, I really think that the fact that after the year 2026, yeah, I hope so. So yeah, wouldn't that be neat if we can get rid of the IRS? I mean, we know that they're quietly shutting down IRS offices nationwide, and I think they've taken away. I think they've staffing. I think staffing has gone away. My grandmother worked for the IRS during, of course, it was seasonal. She worked for them back in the 50s and 60s, I guess. She actually she retired from there. So we'll see. And usually, since when I talk to Chris, I'm gonna put for those of you, if you're just joining, I'm putting out my Rumble link and all my links. Oops, that changed, and I almost wondered if I could do a live broadcast. So maybe you could try it for a while. So anyway, I'll put these links out here real quick. So, I don't know. Yeah, I've heard that mosquitoes are out and they're getting bigger and brighter and everything. And let me. All right. Okay, so I guess everybody is. I'm gonna let me. All right, let's see. So let's go ahead since everybody has been talking about the false flag event that happened today, Minnesota shooting. Let me. Let's see. Let's see. See when this. Okay. EDT. Okay. So this was last updated. This is the last update that they have. This is from Fox News. So Minnesota school shooting, gunman kills 2 children, injures 17 others during Catholic Mass. A shooting was reported Wednesday at the Annunciation's Catholic School in Minneapolis. Police confirmed 17 injured, 2 children dead. The suspect took his own life in the rear of the church. Yeah. Is there anything in here that really surprises people? You know, I don't know. I think God was trying to give me, I don't know, maybe God was giving me a prophetic word or something, because in the last, my grandson just started school, the new school year last week, and I've been, yeah, when they call it injured, it's wounded. But I look at his school, and I'm thinking, you know what? What is the next step that they're going to try to do with these schools, especially with the shootings, these false flag events? Because if you look at some of the way the layout on some of these schools is, you might as well put a wall around them. If you really want to protect your children, don't hold them up in a classroom. They need to be able to run. A moving target is a lot harder to hit than a stationary target. There used to be he was a detective, and this is back in the 90s. He had a short clip program. I can't remember his name. He was a detective, but he had it was kind of a public service announcement that he called Hard Target. And he was telling people what to do to be safe, given, one of the things he says, a moving target is harder to hit than a stationary one. He says that, he mentions like children, you know how, oh, you got to kiss Aunt Bertha. Well, he said parents need to let the child decide whether or not they want to kiss Aunt Bertha, because what you're doing is you're basically telling them they have no control over their own body if you make them endure Aunt Bertha kiss them on the cheek or whatever. They need to be able to say, I don't want Aunt Bertha to kiss me. I want to be able, and not feel bad about it. The other thing that stuck out with me when I would watch is he said, never go to if someone approaches you and they try to abduct you, never go to a secondary location with them. He says, because you make noise, at the where they first approach you. You do not go to the secondary location. That's the most dangerous thing to do. So anyway, Brian O'Hara, Minneapolis police chief, confirms 2 children ages 8 and 10 died at Annunciation Catholic Church shooting as they sat in pews. So where did he get in? How did he get in? He just walked in. I mean, with everybody screaming, you got to put fences and things around these schools. Why was this church? I mean, I don't like the fences. I think it's just another way. It's that social engineering, that way of, getting people used to your children are really in, it's almost like having a prison, just getting that mindset of being in a prison. And although on the flip side, when you are a person, a teacher or a custodian of children, and you've got 20 screaming kids, you gotta have some sort of order. And you talk about safety. You need to know where the children are. You need to know where the students are. I mean, we have these protocols we have to go through. We got to have a head count every so often, every 30 minutes, especially if you're outside. I'm constantly looking for danger. I'm constantly doing head counts because, especially for the after school program, because you never know. You send someone to the bathroom, and if they're not back in a few minutes, you need to, do you need to call out? Do you need to call the National Guard or whatever? But yes, I get it, but I personally don't like the fences. That's right. His mother knew. That's right. I saw that. So 17 people, including 14 children, were injured in mass shooting on Wednesday. O'Hara told reporters during a press conference Wednesday that police believe the shooter used 3 weapons. 3? That's overkill. 3 weapons: a rifle, shotgun, and pistol. The suspect, later identified as Robin Westman and Robert Westman, took their own life near the rear of the church. So they don't know how. I thought it was a single gunman. The suspect took own life in rear of church, O'Hara said. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz acknowledged the incident on X, expressing concern and offering prayers for the affected students and teachers. Homeland Security Kristi Noem stated that the Department of Homeland Security is actively monitoring the situation. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is actively monitoring the situation, according to the police chief O'Hara and the emergency response team. ATF agents from St. Paul office responded to the active shooter's situation at Annunciation Church. So here's the reaction. So Melania Trump urges early warning systems in schools following Minnesota school shooting. So all 14 students who were injured, or as Clifford says, wounded during Wednesday's, they don't know how to spell Wednesday, barrage of gunfire inside the Minneapolis church are expected to survive, authority says. Or said, I believe all of them have their parents with them now, and they are all expected to survive. All of the remaining victims are expected to survive, Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara told reporters. I wonder if this was written by AI. Nowadays, it's almost comical about some of the things that get posted. Police said 14 children, ages ranging from 6 to 15, were injured, as well as 3 adults who were parishioners in their 80s, officials said. So Melania Trump called for the U.S. to start focusing on early warning systems following the tragic mass shooting Wednesday at a Catholic school in Minnesota. You know, I do disagree with one of the things, because one of the things I saw was that the school was wondering, you know, they were kind of blaming Tim Walz for not giving them funding, but I mean, they're a private school. Why didn't they have protocols in place? Why? I mean, you're a school. Yeah, that's right. Tim Walz is a friend of mass shooters, but I still goes to why didn't the school have protocols in place? The First Lady says that too often clear signals of violent behavior are evident but overlooked. The tragic mass killing in Minnesota illuminates the need for preemptive intervention in identifying potential school shooters. Early warning signs are often evident, with many individuals exhibiting concerning behavior. Oh, why'd you do that? And making violent threats online prior to their actions, the Post said. She also urged a nationwide push for behavioral threat assessments. I don't know. I think that is getting too close to the red flag laws, you know? To prevent future tragedies, it is crucial we look into behavioral threat assessments across all levels of society, beginning in our homes, expanding through school districts, and of course social media platforms.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment
Being aware of
experience?
these warning
Spectrum is
signs
bringing
and
together the
acting
streaming
quickly can
apps
save
you
lives
love.
and make
Plus,
American community
live
safer.
TV for sports
Okay, where
entertainment,
is the music
and
coming
news.
from?
All in one place, across your devices. So no matter
All
when
right.
or where you are, it's all here. Spectrum.
So
Hey, Jesse. Well, we have just learned more details that the shooter has been identified as 23-year-old
All right.
Robin
Oh, there
Westman.
you are.
But
I don't like it when these videos just start up all of a sudden. Let's see. The shooting in Minnesota has sparked debates regarding school safety and what bystanders can do to spot the red flags in events. It was noted by Minneapolis police that the 23-year-old Robin Westman, the shooter, had made troubling messages on social media leading up to the attack. President Trump's comments echoed the theme she championed as the First Lady, the Be Best initiative, which focused in part on online behavior and children's mental health. Yeah, I'm not going to read about her. Of course, everybody has an opinion. Yep, here we go. He wants action after. I mean, they always go after the guns. You know, isn't it interesting the timing of all this? Court documents reveal shooter in Minneapolis had name change to reflect female ID. So the shooter who opened a fire at a Catholic church mass in Minneapolis on Wednesday, killing 2 children and injuring 17 others, had an official name change in 2019, according to court records. The shooter has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, but according to court documents, Westman changed. They're using the pronouns. Oh, how nice they're using the correct pronouns. He changed his name from Robert to Robin in 2019. The court documents show the shooter's mother applied for the name change and wrote, "Minor child identifies as female and wants her name to reflect the identification." So just how old of a minor child was this person? Local police said earlier in the day they were aware of a manifesto. They always have a manifesto that the shooter had time to be released on YouTube, though the video has been taken down and is now under investigation. The manifesto, police added, appeared to show Westman at the scene, included disturbing writings. Yeah. Congress is useless. I don't even know why we have Congress anymore. We need to clean out Congress completely. Minneapolis police confirmed shooter had manifesto with disturbing writings under review. So Minneapolis police have confirmed the shooter who opened fire and killed 2 children while injuring 17 others from a Catholic school attending Mass at a nearby church had a manifesto, though the details about the video time to be released on YouTube are sparse. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the manifesto appeared to show the shooter at the scene as well as some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators, the chief said. When asked about the shooter's relationship to the school, church, or school, as well as the motive, O'Hara said he did not have any information to share. In other words, either there's one of two things. He knows, and it's not fitting the narrative, or he doesn't know. Yep. So he was 23 years old, which 2019 would have made him how old? That was 6 years ago. That he would have been 17. So they either have the information, they know why, but it doesn't fit the narrative, so they're not going to share it, or they really don't know because they're incompetent. I have no information to share on a motive other than saying, again, that there was some sort of manifesto that was timed to come out on YouTube, he said. It has been taken down, and our investigators are going through that to try and develop a motive from that. Yeah, how about, was he under a psychiatric care? I mean, come on, he wanted to identify as a female. How about the fact that, and it's interesting, so they've gone from school shootings now to church shootings and churches with the school. What was that school? What was that church? Was it last year? That had the weird, like it was 333 night circle or something like that. What was that church from last year? I wonder what the He added that search warrants are being executed at 3 different residential. 3 different? Where does this guy live? Well, I guess he could live on his own, and I guess mother, but what other residential? As well, to hopefully find more information, excuse me, and give investigators more insight into a motive. Yeah, and I saw there was, I mean, and what did they, oh yeah, that would explain why when I went to go pick up my grandson from school today that the the United States flag was at half-mast. Did President Trump call for half-mast on the flag? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, okay. Never mind, I saw that. But look at the timing. Why? I mean, here we got President Trump. He's sent in the National Guard to D.C. There's talk he's going to go take. People seem to forget that he's already more or less cleaned up L.A. with the National Guard. They make it sound like when he went into D.C. that he. And I know this is going to sound callous and everything. They interviewed a young boy. He was talking about how his friend was in the hospital and yada yada yada. And my first thought was, cue the crisis actors, right? Cue the crisis actors. So. I mean, he checked, just like Clifford says, he checks all the boxes. Well, remember what was the shooter that happened in New York, just a couple of months ago? Or a month ago? Of course, they called him a deranged monster. Domestic terrorism and hate crime. I mean, they're pulling out all the stops on this guy. Everybody's got come on. Everybody's got an opinion. ATF completes tracing of firearms found at Minneapolis church. So, this thing is jumping. So the ATF and explosives said Wednesday it has completed a tracing of firearms found at the site of the Minneapolis church shooting. Hey, ATF completed the urgent tracings of the recovered firearms and has provided that information to all investigative partners involved in the shooting. Come on, stop. At Annunciation Church this morning, the agency's St. Paul office wrote on X, this information is for investigative partners only and will not be released to the public. Oh, nice. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said earlier that the shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and pistol.
But according to court documents,
that really is overkill, like I
said. Their name to Robin.
This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. You notice in the parachute, the 3 adults that they talked about, not only did they go after the kids, but they went after the senior citizens, right?
Local investigators also say the shooter's writings have been found and are now being reviewed.
So school safety expert breaks down lessons from latest shooting. So a school safety expert said while most school safety discussions focus on public schools, Catholic schools face unique risks. Hey, don't remember, wasn't it the FBI that was being targeted and calling Catholic churches terrorists or something like that? They were going after the Catholic churches.
Targeting Catholics. The shooter has been identified as Robin Westman, a male born Robert Westman. The FBI will continue to provide updates on our ongoing investigation with the public as we are able. This
Oh, y'all
tragedy
hearing
happened
that
just
video?
before 8:30 a.m. local
Here, let me try to get that out of
time
there.
during a mass celebrating
Yeah.
kids' first week back to school.
Oh, maybe it's stopped now.
Investigators say the
No.
shooter used a rifle,
I can't get this
shotgun,
thing.
and a pistol, and had recently
There we
purchased the
go.
firearms.
I turned it off a while ago, but this, whatever it's doing, this refreshing thing is just making it. Because I'm trying to look at the different articles on this shooting. See, I gotta find where I was looking at. But like I said, with the little, the little boy, the young boy, getting there talking about his friend, I'm like, and of course, you see on social media, and they're like, you know, they're all, like I said, I just don't believe anything I see anymore. So I guess I've gotten calloused because I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Here, this is the kid. I'm not going to show him. It was super scary because, like, we've never practiced it in the church. We've only practiced it in the main school, so we really didn't know what to do. We just got into the pews and he shot through the stained glass windows, a 7-year-old student said, referring to shooting drills. He also stated that he had 2 friends who were hit, one of whom he said was on top of him to make sure he was safe. There you go. The young student said that the shooter fired through the stained glass windows. See, where was the... I'm trying to look and see if where the article I was looking at before. Okay. President orders half mast. Oh, here we go. This is where I was looking. Here we go. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. Like I said, 3 adults were in their 80s? So they went after the young, they went after the senior. They went after the young, they went after the old. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Here we go. This is where it was. So a school safety expert said that while most school safety discussions focus on public schools, Catholic schools face a unique risk. Ken Trump, president of the National School Safety and Security Services, told Fox News Digital that this scenario is unique because you not only have the staff and students attending Mass, but some parents and other adult parishioners from the community as well. In Catholic schools, an all-school Mass brings hundreds of students, staff, parents, and parishioners together, creating safety challenges rarely seen in public schools, Trump explained. Who will monitor entrances while staff are in the Mass? Who will secure the grounds? How will you lock down or evacuate a church full of students, he continued. Well, you could have patrols, you can have plainclothes people, just walking around. I tell you what, I mean, I was in one of the apartment complexes I lived in when I was in Austin. It wasn't a great place, but what kept me safe was the caretaker, the office manager. It wasn't a big complex. It was a pretty small. I don't know how many units they had, but he was always out and about, and I didn't have any issues. Well, when the owner of the apartments got rid of this particular manager, and they brought someone in, someone new, the guy locked the door. He locked the office. He didn't go out. He didn't patrol. And guess what happens? On I get, and I'm pretty sure that they had been watching me for a couple of days. And they were watching me, and they figured out how to mark what unit I came in and out of, what car I drove. He watched, so he knew whoever broke in, because they broke in. I came home for lunch and I realized that the door was broken into. Someone had kicked the door, and I really believe that if the other guy had been there, that probably wouldn't have happened. Let's see. Regarding the Minnesota Catholic school shooting, he said law enforcement officers may have to assess motives tied to grievances against the church, individual staff, or even ideological and religious influences. Catholic churches cannot afford to rely on tradition and trust alone, Trump said. They must train, plan, and invest in safety like every other school. So, not only is this is attack on young children, seniors, this is also another attack on religion. Whether oh man, Omar, oh my goodness, she's beyond hope, beyond heartbroken. Yeah, I wonder if this is to cover up the fact that that she's involved in that. Was it? Oh, I keep that scandal with the food service. The food service NGO. Was it feed the something? Feed. I talked about it Saturday briefly. I don't believe anything she says either. A retired FBI special agent said law enforcement's mission in response to the Minnesota Catholic school shooting was to get to the school as fast as possible and stop the shooter. Officers entered the building not knowing what they would face. Jason Pack told Fox News Digital. Pack said that those first minutes are confusing and I think it's supposed to be noisy, but training takes over. Secure the scene, protect the children, save lives. Officers in Minneapolis confirmed that the shooter was dead and took his own life. Pack said now the investigation shift into gathering shell casings, interviewing security footage, tracing firearms, and interviewing witnesses. So they do have security footage, but they don't have any kind of security. Which, I mean, how many churches have locked their doors during the day? I don't think many churches. I mean, you might find a few that are even open during the week anymore. Because of things like this. It just says he's dead, from what I can say. See. He added that investigators will also look at the suspect's past to understand warning signs and whether others were involved. The main question they are answering Why would someone do this, Pack said. So so my question, so DNC chair interrupts major party meeting to announce mass shootings miles away. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. I wonder what they were talking about. Were they talking about why? I mean, this is just another reason I think they're trying to get, you gotta leave the Republican Party because they want to kill your children. Yeah. Witness describes, well, I'm sure it felt like it. So Bill Beinerman, who lives in the area of the Annunciation's Catholic School, said he heard from a witness, presumably in the church, that it sounded like gunfire went on for eternity. Yeah, I'd be curious to know how many shots were actually, rounds were actually fired. Beinerman told Fox News he could hear the sporadic gunfire. He also said he was shocked and thought there was no way that could be gunfire. There was so much of it. It sounds like firecrackers, probably. The police have confirmed that 2 children were killed in the shooting and 17 other individuals. It's kind of weird about that number 17 were injured, including 14 children and 3 adults. The shooter's dead, likely from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, though police have not conclusively stated this cause of death. Well, here's an interesting statement. So let's see which. This must be, okay, so this is a timeline, if you look at this, hours ago. So, let's see, the sheer occurs. Additionally, O'Hara said the police believe the assailant took his own life. Is this before or after the lockdown? Or, I mean, what's the timing of this? It's like, are you kidding me? You don't know for sure? Or was this earlier and before after the lockdown? Alright. I gotta try to find that. I wish I had the ad blockers. Alright. Wait a minute. Okay. So 9 of the children injured were being treated at a hospital, with 4 requiring surgeries.
These are stories of ordinary Americans who made
come on.
an extraordinary impact.
Come on. Come on. I'm about ready to get rid of this thing anyway. I'm surprised y'all can hear it because I don't have the sound, sharing the sound. So I'm surprised y'all can actually hear the sound on this thing.
Meet the American, streaming now on Fox Nation. Sponsored by Prevagen.
Y'all probably getting dizzy over this because I'm trying to get some additional. See what else is in here. That's 14 hours ago. All right.
Hey, Jesse. Well, we have just learned more details that the shooter has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman.
So
but
she's saying he's 20.
Documents, this person changed their name to Robin from Robert in 2019. Those court records.
Of course, Chucky Schumer, baby.
Who reportedly once worked for the
he has to get
applied
his.
for the name change and wrote, quote, "My minor child identifies as female and
All right,
wants
I'm gonna
her
stop
name
it.
to reflect the identification.
That way y'all don't have to hear this
Local
thing, and I
investigators
can get
also
this thing
say
out
the
of my
shooter's
ear.
writings have been
Oh, come
found and
on.
are now being reviewed.
I can get that video out of my ear. So anyway. So apparently... So anyway. Well, that was exciting. That took some time. So what do y'all think about that? I mean, I really think that the shooting, look at the timing. They're talking about, what are they distracting? What's going to be the distraction? We know it's always, what's the first thing they say? Oh, we need more gun laws. Let's take it. I mean, is this kind of a retaliatory thing for what President Trump is doing with the National Guard? What else is coming down the pike that we are not, that we're supposed to be distracted from? So many things are happening. Let's see. Tell you what, I am going to see if I can take a little break. I'm going to get... And by the way, if anybody has been listening to my YouTube or my Rumble channel and been listening to my Bible studies, I appreciate you listening to my Bible studies. I've had some... It's kind of funny because like yesterday I did a live thing of... I did a live thing on... I did a live study yesterday and before I got off, and it was one of my shorter studies, and I had, like, from what I could tell, I had about 4 or 5 people on, and then today I had a longer study and nobody got on. So it's you just never know. That's true. Talking about George Soros and Alex, and they need to be charged with RICO. That is true. That is true. See if I can find something to... So... Let's see. I don't have a whole lot. I have to rebuild because now that Pocket went away, I've got to rebuild my library, my video, my song library. So give me... see, what do I want to put? Let's do this one. Okay. Take a little break. Yeah, that is weird that y'all could, because I didn't have the sound. I didn't have both boxes checked, so I'm surprised that the sound, y'all could actually hear that. I thought it was just me in my ear.
Lock down all towns, everybody slow down, give them everything you have. Mask up, backs up, get your body trashed up, better do what they ask. It's alright, okay, sorry, but you can't pray, gotta keep the church doors closed. No superstitions, a saint politician will tell you what you need to know. Citizen fools and brand new rules make everyone a hero now. So keep your distance, no resistance, only do what you're allowed. Cash that check, go dance in the wreck, but just don't speak your mind. Get your facts from the paid contracts, cause never will they tell a lie. They don't know me, they don't own me. Oh God, help us all. Look what we've become. Oh God, help us all and fix what we have done. See no evil, bow to the needle, didn't we turn out great? Sick is the new health, poor is the new wealth, truth is whatever they say. Expert lectures, media protectors, tell me who to love and hate. Jail in the network, hail to the Zuckerberg, head down, just behave. Liberty, freedom, angels, demons, someone's in control. Well, no way, no how, I wouldn't say it too loud, don't you know they're on patrol? Need more likes, post up, let's fight, there's no way that you're wrong. Gotta listen to the science, cause it's all about compliance. You agree or you're gone, but they don't know me, and they don't own me. Oh God, help us all. Look what we've become. Oh God, help us all and fix what we have done. Sell my info, hacked and don't know, show me what I need to buy. Sex consumption, no corruption, just as advertised. You've been labeled and I've been enabled, better apologize. Propaganda, racist slander, time to organize. Shot bang, who's next? Brain dead, useless, show it on the TV screen. Tell me who to vote for, gotta start a new war, wouldn't wanna live in peace. Divide and conquer, weak not stronger, everybody know your place. Do it now, won't hurt, dig into your own dirt, virtue found its grave, they don't know me, and they don't own me. Oh God, help us all. Look what we've become. Oh God, help us all and fix what we have done. Inside violence, enforced silence, mainstream message, won't you guide us? You know what is best for our own good. Anti this and anti that, cancel this and cancel that, take it to the streets and the neighborhoods. Worship actors, food and drugs, brand yourself, give them your blood. Don't believe your eyes, don't look around. Fake news, rumors, okay boomer, ignorance will stain our future. Will you make it through or burn it down? Oh God, help us all. 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 Oh God, help us all.
Okay. So before I move on to something else, I just wanted to say that, oh my gosh, didn't President Trump sign an executive order banning solar and wind farms? I just realized yesterday that a wind farm has pretty much cropped up overnight. It I noticed some, I mean, in the last month especially, I've noticed some changes well, ever since the raid on that marijuana farm, about a month ago now, 6 weeks ago, the marijuana farm with the children and everything, and I've noticed difference. There's the land here, the way they're farming is different now. The clearing and how they're doing the crops right now, I noticed. And then all of a sudden I noticed about a week or so ago there was this one particular patch of land that was really different. And then yesterday I'm like, oh my gosh, they put in a wind farm. It's like, oh great. So I'm like, okay. And, Abbott talked about signing that order, or supposedly signed the order about the foreign, trying to get rid of these foreigners. I mean, here's another key thing about these foreign investors. They're putting in these wind and solar farms. And I've talked about how I agree. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that, using them for the data centers. And, I'm thinking about the people who, what is it that they sell these people on? Like my cousin, they were, the people, they wanted to do this project. They wanted the farmland, the mineral rights. They had to find all the heirs for the mineral rights, and they were in order to put these solar panels in. And I told my cousins, like, I'm not doing it. I'm not signing nothing for that. So I need to go and take pictures. It's just trying to do it, find a time when, there's not a lot of traffic, trying not to make myself too conspicuous. And right now it's kind of hot. So, but this, and I don't know how many more of these fields, these solar farms are going to pop up on these fields. But yeah, I just like, I was like, oh my gosh. So, let me. Well, let's do this. So this is breaking news. This is from Wall Street Journal. This is about 3 hours ago. So we have CDC Director Susan Monterez removed from post, White House says. So the White House said it fired the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Wednesday, and several top CDC officials resigned, throwing the agency's leadership into turmoil. Well, we know that that's one of the agencies that's been really corrupted. We also know that that's one of the agencies that we know that we were told that is going to go by the wayside, go bye-bye. So Susan Monterez, the CDC director, has been removed from her job, the White House said on Wednesday evening, since Susan Monterez refused to resign despite informing HHS, or Health and Human Service leadership, of her intent to do so. The White House has terminated Monterez from her position with the CDC, said the White House spokesman Kush Desai. Monterez, who led the agency for less than a month, clashed with Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and members of his staff, according to a senior Trump administration official. Yeah, in other words, here's another anonymous source. Why are they linking this still? President Trump had nominated her to lead the CDC in March after dropping his first pick. Previously, the agency's acting director, Monterez, was the first CDC head without a medical degree in more than 70 years. Lawyers for Monterez said that she was notified Wednesday night by a White House staffer in the personnel office that she was fired. Her lawyers said that only the president himself can fire her, and for that reason, they reject the notification she received as legally deficient. In an earlier statement, her lawyer said when CDC Director Susan Monterez refused to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives and fired dedicated health experts, she chose protecting the public over serving a political agenda. For that, she has been targeted. So they're making it sound like there's mutiny in the ranks, right? Not just within President Trump's division. Meanwhile, 3 senior CDC leaders, including Dr. Deborah Howery, the agency's chief medical officer, submitted their resignations Wednesday, according to emails viewed by the Wall Street Journal. So how did the Wall Street Journal get their emails? How does the Wall Street Journal get their emails? The Department of Health and Human Services said Monterez was no longer CDC director and that Kennedy had full confidence in his team at the agency. The Washington Post reported the news of Monterez's ouster earlier. The CDC is a division of HHS which is overseen by Kennedy, a vaccine skeptic. A major source of disagreement between Monterez and Kennedy was over the CDC's guidance on vaccines, according to the administration official. Here we go again. The agency issues recommendations on what vaccines adults and children should take. In late July, Monterez was confirmed by the Senate in a 51-47 vote along party lines. On Wednesday, Democrats who had voted against her nomination decried the effort to remove her. That's what they do. They flip. They flip when President Trump appoints someone, and then when, for whatever reason, that person is let go or has a clash or whatever, then they flip out because she's quote unquote fired, right? I had serious doubts about CDC Director Monterez's willingness to stand up against RFK Jr.'s personal mission to destroy public health in America. I'm guessing I was wrong, said Senator Patty Murray, Democrat of Washington, on X. If there are any adults left in the White House, we cannot let RFK Jr. burn what's left of the CDC. Fire him. Well, the CDC is corrupt. It needs to go away. FDA needs to go away. WHO needs to go away. NIH? NIH? Yeah. NIH needs to go away. NATO needs to go away. I'm having a hard time thinking. UN needs to go away. So, what else is new? So Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican of Louisiana, a medical doctor who was a pivotal voice in Kennedy's confirmation fight in February, said late Wednesday that the CDC's high-profile departures will require oversight by the Senate Health Committee that he runs, but offered no further comment. Let's get rid of the committees. We have too many committees. It drives me nuts. The committees don't do anything. In backing Kennedy's confirmation, Cassidy said at the time that he secured a number of concessions, including promises to maintain current federal vaccine recommendations and keep intact CDC website pages that say there isn't a link between vaccines and autism. Are you kidding me? That is one of the most stupidest things. I mean, that's like saying that the COVID shot was safe and effective. About a week after Monterez was sworn in, a gunman, oh my gosh. Here we go. A gunman, who would have thought? Who authorities said had been critical of the C-19 vaccine, opened fire outside the CDC's Atlanta campus, killing a police officer and striking 6 of the agency's buildings. The shooting marked a devastating blow to morale following a swath of layoffs across the agency earlier this year, according to current and former employees. Well, guess what? You can't keep spending money. That's the reason why we're so broke. And I have to admire, I tell you what, after going to the Reagan Library and finding out what he did, California had such a $2 million shortfall. And one of the first things he did, he froze spending. He cut he tightened the belt. That's what you got to do. You cannot keep overspending day after day, year after year, month after month, decade after decade, and you just can't. And yes, it's going to be painful for a while. Yes, you're going to feel the pinch. But if you want to get back on track, and when he left office, he actually had a surplus. So imagine he left when he came in, he had a deficit, or they were in the hole, $2 million, and when he left, he not only gained that $2 million, but he had a $2 million surplus when he left. So hundreds of current and former employees at the CDC and other federal health agencies said the attack came as Americans' distrust of public health institutions grows and federal leaders politicize and tout health misinformation, according to a letter they wrote to Kennedy and members of Congress last week. When the federal workforce is not safe, America is not safe, they wrote in a letter. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is complicit in dismantling America's public health infrastructure and endangering the nation's health by repeatedly spreading inaccurate health information. Many employees at the agencies in Atlanta have been working remotely in the weeks since the shooting. Uh-oh. Got to get rid of those remote workers, right? Monterez has a PhD in microbiology and immunology from the University of Wisconsin-Madison and did postdoctoral research at Stanford University. She was previously deputy director of the Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health, known as ARPA, a government agency working to develop healthcare products on a faster timeline. So here we go. Got another agency. The White House withdrew Trump's first choice for CDC director, former Dr. Steve Weldon after senators worried he wasn't qualified. Hourly, one of the senior CDC leaders who submitted her resignation, wrote in a note to colleagues that vaccines save lives and the overstating of risk and the rise of misinformation has caused life. Well, you got to do research. You can't just throw something out in the public and say, oh, yeah, it's going to save your life. I mean, look how many people are dying because of those that took the shot. I really believe my brother-in-law was affected by that shot. She cited the recent attack on the agency's health headquarters and the 3-decade high in the U.S. measles cases. Oh, right, which has led to 3 deaths. 3 deaths out of how many? And don't forget, how many illegals were sick when they came in? So, you got a population of how many million or billion, and you're looking at 3 deaths. How many cases have actually been reported? Hey, rock and roll. For the good of the nation and the world, the science at CDC should never be censored or subject to political pauses or interpretations, she wrote, according to the email obtained by the journal. Here we go. Where did they get this email? Who provided it? Did they do a FOIA request? How did they get these emails? I am committed to protecting the public's health, but the ongoing changes prevent me from continuing in my job as a leader of the agency, she added. Dr. Dimitri Daskalakis, director of the CDC's National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, also submitted his resignation. I am not able to serve in this role any longer because of the ongoing weaponizing of public health. Oh, yes. Weaponizing. You mean like the shots that hadn't had 10 years to be tested and have a, what's the word I'm looking for? Being in a controlled test environment and you just send it to the masses for whatever. So again, he wrote in an email. So my question is where did they get the emails? Oh yeah. Did y'all see that? Oh, not Costco, but the Cracker Barrel thing. So how many of you think that I'm looking at these headlines, but how many of you think that the Cracker Barrel fiasco was just a narrative? You know what I kept thinking about when I heard that about Cracker Barrel? My first thought when they did the logo, it reminded me when Coca-Cola back in the, late 70s, early 80s had their marketing. I mean, Coca-Cola was, they had the Pepsi challenge, and then, Coca-Cola had, they were basically losing money. So what did they do? They came up with this brand new formula, and they promoted this new Coke. Of course, nobody liked it. So what did they do? They get a backlash. That's a marketing strategy. They went back to the original Coke. So now, not only did you regain the interest for the people for the original flavor of Coke, you also have another product on the shelf for the new Coke, for people who like the new Coke. So it was definitely a marketing strategy. Now, I understand that Cracker Barrel has been changing their decor. The interior is no longer, the only time we really go to Cracker Barrel, what's the last time we went to Cracker Barrel? Maybe for Mother's Day, maybe? I think we went to Cracker Barrel for Mother's Day. But I didn't notice any changes in the and the decor or anything. I just noticed, I thought the food was better. I thought there was a change in the food for the better. But, I think the last time when we went to, because we usually, since we've been here in California, we've been going to Cracker Barrel for Thanksgiving, just because we don't like to cook. No, last year I think we did. Did we go to Cracker Barrel? I know we went to a church function for that. So anyhow, let's see. Gosh, I've been out this for almost 2 hours already. So Michael Jackson's son is getting engaged. How about that? On the same day that Taylor Swift is gotten engaged. Oh, goody. Well, here's something interesting. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm going to try to do it this way. Okay. So, interesting. They just did a crackdown at Home Depot, too. So, 14 arrested in largest Home Depot theft ring ever. Wow. Oh, of course, it's LA. No, this is LA, right? So, this must be the ringleader. And interesting. So thieves stole more than $10 million in merchandise from Southern California Home Depot stores. Is that all the... Okay, so this isn't much. So all we have is Ventura County Organized Retail Theft Task Force arrested 14 in theft ring where around 600 thefts occurred over several years at 71 separate Home Depot stores. So how long is this? This is about 2 minutes. Okay.
Ventura County District Attorney says the Ventura County Retail Theft Task Force has busted the largest retail theft ring involving thefts from Home Depot stores in the country. The sheriff just had a news conference announcing 14 arrests. Take a listen.
This is also the largest organized retail theft case uncovered in Home Depot history. Over the past several months, our Organized Retail Theft Task Force has been working around the clock to track down an elaborate network of thieves who are stealing from major retailers and reselling items for a cheaper price.
Okay, it all focuses on the man in the center of your screen. Ventura County Sheriff James Fryhoff says that's David All, the ringleader of this theft ring. All, they say, runs a wholesale business in Tarzana and employed the men on the left side of your screen there, the retail theft crew, to go into over 71 separate Home Depots more than 600 times.
Well, they definitely look legal, right? Y'all think that they are legal? I think I think that the Home Depot that was raided not too long ago was Tarzana. I know I read an article about something about Tarzana recently.
Over the past year and a half to steal more than $10 million in high-end electrical equipment, things like dimmer switches, circuit breakers, electrical outlets, and then get those to these two property resellers, the fences essentially, where they would sell this stolen merchandise either at a wholesale business in Tarzana or online. Now, this is a video from inside of a Home Depot. This crew is now facing upwards of 48 felony counts, including grand theft, conspiracy, receiving stolen property, organized retail theft, and money laundering. During search warrants, they have recovered about $3.7 million. In Home Depot property, but they expect that there is more out there. They say that this is one of the largest theft rings ever, and it dealt with Home Depots in all 5 counties: Los Angeles, Orange, San Bernardino, Riverside, and Ventura. And they expect more arrests due to his employees, the ringleader's employees at his business, also working in this retail theft ring. That's it here from the desk. I'll send it back to you.
Okay, so where's ICE when you need them? Right? And isn't that special? So, everybody go to sleep. Everybody have to go to sleep and get up in the morning. So all right. So I do have some other. I wonder if I should. Hey, Vinny. Good to see you out there. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Oh yes, this Garcia can't be deported until at least early October. Who are these people? Who are these people that sit there? I don't even want to get. I mean, that whole thing just makes me tired. That MS-13 Garcia, and I'm thinking that Aaron's right. I mean, with everybody else, you do not. This guy is staying in the news, and I mean, really, what is it about him that makes him so special that they are insisting to keep him here? There's something fishy about that whole thing. Yeah, I'm already seeing the. So let's see. I have these. Oh yeah, feeding our future. I keep forgetting it. It's feeding our future. See, let's see, this was on Tuesday. So here's another guy. I talked about it a few weeks ago on feeding our future. So here's another defendant on the Feeding Our Future scheme. This was back in August the 12th. And the reason why I picked this because this has to this is tied in with the Somalians. So Guad Hashi pled guilty yesterday, which this is the 12th. So August the 11th, which would have been on, what was the 4th? Let's see, we got 4th, 11th, 18th. So this would have been like 3 Mondays ago. So pled guilty in U.S. District Court to one count a conspiracy to commit wire fraud and one count a conspiracy to commit money laundering for his role in the massive fraud scheme that exploited a federally funded child nutrition program during C-19 pandemic, according to Acting U.S. Attorney Joseph H. Thompson. The conviction is the 52nd defendant in the Feeding Our Future case is yet another reminder of the vast reach this fraud and the scale of the crisis we face in Minnesota. Ooh, here's another. It's a connection to Minnesota, said Acting U.S. Attorney Joseph Thompson. These crimes are not isolated events. They are part of a web of schemes targeting programs that are intended to lift up Minnesotans and bleeding them dry. From where I sit, the scale of the fraud in Minnesota is staggering, and every rock we turn over reveals more. Wait a minute, isn't Tim Walz, isn't he under investigation or something for something? Is that the reason why we had the school shooting? Is it because, what are they distracting us from? We must be honest and clear-eyed about the scope of this problem, because ending it will take an unyielding, all-hands-on-deck effort from all of us. According to court documents from December 2020 through January 2022, Saeed conspired with others to participate in a fraudulent scheme to obtain and misappropriate millions of dollars in federal child nutrition program funds that were intended as reimbursements for the cost of serving meals to underprivileged children. I'm wondering if this nutrition program is the reason why the county where I'm working, if that's the reason why the county lost their funding on some of their food, like I said, I work in the kitchen for the after-school program. I wonder if that's the reason why they lost funding for this. But the thing is, I thought their grant that they got was a private grant. So for some reason, all of a sudden, this private grant was from like a couple, from what I understood. And yet somehow there's not enough money. Saeed purported to operate a federal child nutrition program site under the name Advanced Youth Athletic Development. Saeed incorporated Advanced Youth Athletic Development on February 26, 2021. Who was president in 2021? Or at least the world thinks he was president. And listed its registered office at a residential apartment unit in the Central Avenue Lofts, an apartment building in northeast Minneapolis. Saeed purported to run a federal child nutrition program site from his apartment building. Beginning in March 2021, Saeed and the Advanced Youth Athletic Development site submitted meal count sheets claiming to have served 5,000 meals a day to children 7 days a week. Between approximately March and December 2021, Saeed and the Advanced Youth Athletic Development submitted claims for serving more than 1 million meals. In reality, Advanced Youth Athletic Development and Saeed's claims were grossly inflated, and Saeed only served a fraction of those meals for which he claimed and received reimbursements. In support of their false claims, Saeed prepared and submitted fraudulent meal counts, attendance, rosters, and invoice. And I've talked about how, that whole program, the counting, we have to, I was told, I have to give the kids the meals, right? I prepare their trays, I prepare their plates, I prepare meals. And I take account. I have to take account of who gets a meal. The thing is, some of these kids, they just take the meal and then they throw it away. And it's like, they don't even eat it. So not only you have, you have the possibility of fraud, but you also have waste. It drives me at the wall when I see how much is wasted. So from August 2020 through 2022, Saeed also participated in a money laundering conspiracy. The purpose of the conspiracy was to conceal, hide, and launder the proceeds from the fraudulent scheme to obtain federal child nutrition program funds. Saeed and his conspirators created nonprofits and limited liability companies for use in hiding the source and ownership of the proceeds of the fraudulent scheme to obtain federal child nutrition program funds. I wonder if these guys were told or shown how to do all this, or did they automatically know? Did they just somehow come up with this scheme on their own? After laundering the proceeds of this scheme, Saeed and his co-conspirators used their shell companies to purchase real estate, cars, and other personal items. For example, Saeed registered Advanced Youth Athletic Development as a nonprofit on or about February 26, 2021. On or about April 1st, 2021, he opened a bank account for Advanced Youth Athletic Development. Between August 2021 and December 2021, Saeed transferred more than $2.1 million from Advanced Youth Athletic Development bank accounts to S&S Catering. These payments were purportedly for providing meals and food for Advanced Youth Athletic Development to serve to children. In total, Saeed and his conspirators received approximately $2,906,740 in federal child nutrition program funds based on their fraudulent scheme. Saeed will be sentenced at a later date and faces up to 25 years in prison. I wonder if he's going to get a slap on the wrist. He's probably going to get cut. He'll probably get like you got to pay restitution. He'll probably get community service. I like to see, I'd like for them to check his immigration status. Yesterday's Guhad Saeed pleaded guilty to charges related to his role in a sprawling fraud scheme designed to financially enrich the defendants at the expense of hungry children, said FBI Minneapolis Special Agent in Charge Alvin M. Winston Sr. Saeed stole money, falsified paperwork submitted to the government, and was reimbursed millions of dollars to which he was not entitled. The FBI, together with our law enforcement partners, will ensure this fraud stops, and we will ensure that every defendant in this investigation is held fully accountable for their conduct. This case is the result of an investigation conducted by IRS Criminal Investigation, the FBI, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. Acting U.S. Attorney Joseph H. Thompson and Assistant U.S. Attorneys Matthew S. Ebert, Harry M. Jacobs, and Daniel W. Bobier are prosecuting these cases. Assistant U.S. Attorney Craig Bond is handling the seizure and forfeiture of assets. I think this is important. Seizure and forfeiture of assets. I wonder which executive order this would fall under. IRS criminal investigation is the law enforcement arm of the IRS responsible for conducting financial crime investigations, including tax fraud. Well, you know what? Guess what? It used to be Postal Service did that, including tax fraud, narcotics trafficking, money laundering, public corruption, healthcare fraud, identity theft, and more. IRS criminal investigation special agents are the only federal law enforcement agencies with investigative jurisdiction over violations of the Internal Revenue Code, obtaining a 90% federal conviction rate. The agency has 19 field offices located across the U.S. and 14 attaché posts abroad. I need to. U.S. and Postal Inspector used to do a lot of those investigative so let's see. I do have some others. Let me go. So I mean, lately, you know, I've been. Let's see. I mean, here's, you know, people are, you know, when people like are focusing on things like the shooting. I mean, here we're seeing the frauds getting, you know, a lot of fraud cases are getting exposed. So we have government employee and government contractor enter guilty pleas to stealing over $150,000 from MacDill Air Force Base's intramural program. And this came out last Wednesday on the 20th. And this is out of Tampa, Florida. So United States Attorney Gregory W. Keogh announces that Keith Pulaski, 63 Lutz, and Edwin Ortiz, 58 Brandon, I wonder what that means, have pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Wow, lots of wire fraud. Pulaski and Ortiz each face a maximum penalty of 20 years in federal prison as part of their plea agreements. Pulaski has agreed to forfeit $67,183, and Ortiz has agreed to forfeit $163,300, the proceeds of criminal conduct. A sentencing date has not yet been set. According to the plea agreements from 2009 until 2024, while Pulaski was employed as the intramural sports director for MacDill Air Force Base, he and Ortiz participated in a scheme to defraud MacDill's intramural sports program. Instead of selecting the least expensive contractor, Pulaski steered all officiating duties to Ortiz's company and scheduled games around Ortiz's schedule. Additionally, Pulaski authorized payments to Ortiz for services that were not covered under the contract and at times not even performed. Ortiz then kicked back a portion of the overpayments to Pulaski. So this case was investigated by Air Force Special Investigations. It is being prosecuted by Assistant United States Attorney Marilyn Honemeyer. Wow. Here's another one. Husband and wife indicted in $1.1 million wire fraud conspiracy. Here's another one. Florida man pleads guilty for role in an off-the-books payroll scheme. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's try this one. Let's see what this was about. So this is all in Florida. This is just in Florida alone. Can you imagine this happening like 50 states, in all 50 states, something like this? So, Jacksonville, Florida, United States Attorney Gregory W. Keogh announces that Valerie Harris has pleaded guilty to aiding and assisting in the filing of a false tax return. Harris faces a maximum sentence of 3 years. Her sentencing has been scheduled for December 10th, 2025. According to court documents, Harris has worked as a tax return preparer in Jacksonville. While preparing tax returns for others, Harris knowingly reported false information, including false claims of having a business to decrease the amount of taxpayers would owe to the IRS and to increase the amount taxpayers would receive as tax refunds from the IRS. IRS agents determined that Harris falsified tax returns in a similar manner multiple times, specifically by creating fictitious business expenses. Despite a lack of documentation from taxpayers, Harris included these fictitious expenses on the tax returns, indicating a net loss or for a non-existent business. This would lower the taxpayer's adjusted gross income, allowing the taxpayer to apply for the earned income credit, which is a refundable credit based on primarily on income and filing status. Yeah, and then if you add kids, so the way the earned income credit works, it's kind of you kind of go up, you so much, and depending on your filing status and your adjusted gross income and what have you, you could, it kind of has a curve, so it goes up. And it also depends on if you have any qualifying kids. It can go up and then it comes back down. So it reaches a peak and then it comes back down. So I'm wondering if this person, probably if I read the rest of the press release, I'm sure I'll get more information. But it sounds like this person, what they did is they were working something like Jackson Hewitt or H&R Block or something. Or maybe they were doing it on their own. I don't know. I know H&R Block would not do it. But you got to do your due diligence. You've got to ask the right questions. Now, this Harris person may have done it and may, ask some questions and then, oh, yeah, we could do it this way and we could do it that way. And so I'm wondering. So on March 22nd, 2022, Harris prepared a 2021 tax return for an undercover IRS agent who posed as a customer. During the conversation, Harris told the undercover agent that the agent was going to owe money on her tax return. Harris asked the undercover agent if she did any work on the side, to which the undercover agent stated that she sometimes braided hair. This is what you call creative filing. Harris told the undercover agent that she could help the undercover agent receive a refund for an additional fee. Moments later, Harris told the undercover agent that she was receiving a refund of $2,950 minus the additional fee. However, Harris did not ask for it, and the undercover agent did not provide any documentation or information associated with business losses or income. I wonder who put him on this person's trail in the first place. However, Harris did not ask. Okay, wait a minute. Despite the lack of documentation, Harris prepared the undercover agent's tax return, which indicated a net loss for a non-existent business. Harris understood that the non-existent business net loss would lower the undercover agent's adjusted gross income to a point that the undercover agent would qualify for earned income credit. Throughout the investigation, IRS agents learned that Harris had been preparing falsified tax returns on behalf of taxpayers since at least 2018. Agents estimated that Harris prepared more than 900 falsified tax returns between the 2020 tax year and the 2022 tax year. As part of her guilty plea, Harris has agreed that the tax loss to the United States is at least $1,824,279. So, and let's see, prosecuted by Assistant United States Attorney Elizabeth Adams. So, that's one reason why I stopped doing preparing taxes, because you have to have a tax preparation IN number. I mean, it's really, they were really clamping down on fraudulent returns. And really, if you, I mean, like, H&R Block says that they would back you up, but you have to do your due diligence. You have to ask the right questions, and you have to plug in the information into the computer the right way. Because, one of the things that H&R Block says, we get the best, we get us the, best refund that we can. But you have to, but there is a caveat to that, is you have to ask the right questions. If you don't ask the right questions and do the due diligence, it can come back to bite you. Okay, so alright, so I think we can. Let me see, where can we go next? Well, so the drama, let's see, the drama on the Texas, wait a minute. Yeah, I did that one already. So the drama to the Texas Democrats that fled, and was anybody surprised when they backed off? They didn't do anything with them, and I'm like, yeah, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to, people kept saying, well, they can't arrest them. Well, why not? Dereliction of duty? They weren't supposed to be, and yet the map still passed, and how about that for sweet? So this is according to, this is about 5 days ago. So this is on, today's the 28th, so it'll be on the 23rd. So insult is being added to injury for over 50 Texas House Democrats who fled the state to block the passage of a congressional redistricting map. They received a notice of fines on Thursday night, which would have been last Thursday, totaling several thousands of dollars. The U.S. House of Representatives gavelled in on Monday with a quorum required following the absent Democrats' return to the Lone Star State. I wonder if they did it to keep the quorum for the special session. I wonder if maybe they will finally, if something will happen after the session is over. The Texas Republican legislatures then successfully moved legislation through the House Wednesday, redrawing the state congressional districts. The approval of the state map was on an 88 to 52 party line vote. The new map may net the GOP up to 5 additional congressional seats in the 2026 midterm elections. Republicans currently hold 25 of the Lone Star State's 38 congressional seats, and if the change goes through, it could be 30 of the 38. So you gain 5 more seats. Texas Governor Greg Abbott had called a second special session of the state legislature for this week after Democrats waited the first 2 weeks session he called earlier this month to approve the new map, along with other measures, including flood relief. Republican officials responded to the Democrats' absence during the first session by imposing a $500 per day fine and issuing arrest warrants. NBC News reported that lawmakers only make $600 in monthly salary for the part-time post. That's really, when they're not this should be when they're not in session, because they're only in session for like 5 months every other year on the odd year. Brad Johnson, editor of the Texan News, posted part of the letter that the Democrat legislature received outlining the fines they now owe. Remember, they also passed something about going after, who was it, Beto O'Rourke and the PAC for bribery. So the letter states that the lawmakers owe $354,000, and 25 cents, which is the total of $7,000 for missing 14 legislative days, and $2,354.25 for the pro rata share of the $124,943 costs to the House in securing their attendance for the second session. Yeah, I mean, come on. If they would, I wonder if that's, I'm assuming that's per Democrat that left. So when you add all of that, and if it's per Democrat, then that's a couple of $1 million. So here's part of the memo sent to the Texas House Democrats who broke quorum. Shows the members incurred a $7,000 fine per day absence, plus a share of the $125,000 cost incurred by the House, per the memo. Payment was due Monday, this past Monday. So I wonder if anybody paid. I'm not sure if I can read that. I know y'all probably can't read that very well, but I'm going to try. So the House of Representatives ordered a call of the House on August the 4th, 2025, as a quorum was not present on the initial registration. You did not appear in response to that call, and the Sergeant at Arms and officers appointed by her were directed to secure your attendance under a civil warrant of arrest as necessary. And a civil warrant was actually issued as authorized by the rules. The first called session adjourned sine die, I'm sure it's a Latin term, on August 15, 2025, a quorum still not being present. The House of Representatives renewed the call on August the 15th of 2025. As the quorum was not present on the initial registration, the second called on the initial registration for the second called session. You did not appear in response to that call, and the Sergeant of Arms and officers appointed by her were directed to secure your attendance under a civil warrant of arrest as necessary. And a civil warrant was actually issued as authorized by the rules. A quorum was obtained on August the 15th, 2025. Accordingly, you are absent 14 calendar days for the purpose of impeding the action of the House. The Committee on the House Administration has calculated your fines pro rata share of the cost incurred in securing your attendance under Rule 5, Section 3, House Rules of Procedures as follows. So the fine of $500 calendar day, which would be 14, which would be $7,000, cost pro rata share of $124,943,040. So broken down, that would be the $2,354.25 for a total of $9,354.25. So that is each person who fled the state owes that money back to the state. It's the taxpayers' money, right? As required by the Texas Constitution and House rules, you may request a due process hearing at which, how much you want to bet they're going to, if they haven't already, if they didn't, they're going to try to drag this out and they want to do a due process, at which you may be present with counsel to provide any explanation as to why the full amount of fines and costs authorized by the rule should not be imposed. Alternatively, you may make a written submission to the committee in lieu of appearing personally. Any written submission should be received in my office no later or not later than Monday, August 15th at 12 noon. Let's see, if you have any questions about this process, please do not hesitate to contact me. So we have Charlie L. Guerin, Chairman, Committee on House Administration. So ouch, Braddock, editor of the Quorum Report, posted on social media that the letters went out on Thursday night. The Texas Tribune reported that the state GOP-controlled Senate took up debate on the new congressional map on Friday, where it is expected to pass and then approved by Abbott. Democrats really have no room to whine when it comes to gerrymandering. If you look at states like Illinois, Massachusetts, and New York, and don't forget California, even though California is supposed to, by their constitution, by the California's constitution, the map has to be redrawn by an independent company. They has to be proposed to their assembly. In the land of Lincoln, President Donald Trump won 44% of the popular vote, but Republicans only carried 3 congressional races of the state's 17 districts. I mean, look at this. This is the Lincoln. This is the Illinois. Look at this. This is weird. You know, when you think about it, look at how, I mean, this is where these people went to. You got this like a blue, like a water, right? And New York Democrats pushed through a new congressional map after Republicans picked up several seats in the 2022 midterm elections, according to the New York Post. The Republican delegation in the last Congress was 11, but the current one, it dropped to 7 of 26 seats. 26 seats, despite Trump winning 44% of the vote. Let's see what else was I going to say about that. I was going to say something about that, now I can't remember what I was going to say. So Kyle Becker says, anytime you hear a Democrat complain about gerrymandering, I want you to think of this chart. 9 blue states with 32% to 48% Republican voters. 0 representation in the House. California, Illinois, New York, Maryland, New Jersey, and Oregon have 34 to 46 GOP voting. Look at those show. So you have the Maine or Massachusetts, or no, that's Maine, Massachusetts. Republican, no, 36% Republican, no seats. Connecticut, 42% Republican, no seats. Maine, 46 Republican, no seats. New Mexico, 46 Republican, no seats. New Hampshire, 48 Republican, no seats. Rhode Island, 42 Republican, no seats. Vermont, 32 Republican, no seats. Hawaii, 38th Republican, no seats. And Delaware, 42 Republicans and no seats. California, 38% Republican, only 9 of the 52 seats, which is 2.9%. Illinois, 44 Republican, only 3 of 17 seats, or 17.6%. New York, 43 Republican, or percent Republican. Only 7 is 26 seats, 26.9%. Maryland, 34% Republican. Only 1 of 8 seats, and now they flipped Iowa. You know, how much you want to bet that Iowa seat, that special session in Iowa, how much you want to bet that that was rigged? So the mid-decade redistricting in New York is one of the reasons the GOP won such a narrow victory, or narrow 220 to 215 majority in the House last November, despite Trump's convincing national victory. So what happened in Texas is just a response to what Democrats have been blatantly doing for years. And yet they're saying that that Democrats are, just returning the favor, that California is just, Gruesome Newsom is just doing his job. Right. There's so many people that need to go away. So let's see. And just a reminder, this is what happened with the Texas map. And I don't know, I think the Texas map is still weird. I don't think that it's quite, I mean, if you look at it, there really isn't a lot of difference. And if you, you picked up a state, you picked up a county here in little pockets, but I don't see this map any. You still got this little sliver here, and you have, you still have this little bit. This is like around El Paso, so you still have that. This portion, yeah. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm fading. But I'm just like, what the little pockets here? Almost, it hasn't really changed that much if you ask me. Because I'm vote margin. And that's what I was going to say too. When you could take in consideration how many illegals have been shipped out since the first of the year. So, if you want real representation, they need to do a new census, I think. But this is my opinion, and I know President Trump talked about doing a new census. So that's I think this is the map that this was the proposed map, but I think this is the one that, and I think that I think that map is the one that got voted on. See if this is the one that got voted on. I'm trying to find a current one. I'm trying to find everything is all the maps We're just the proponent. Oh, oh. Let's see. Trying to find the map. So the new map eliminates Democratic-held districts in Austin, Houston, and Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and replace them with Republican ones. So, see, I kind of get confused how they determine what the map should look like, though. Do they go to by voter rolls? Is that how they determine? Is if you are a registered... See, I said it before. I said it on Saturday. My personal thing is get rid of the primaries. I mean, we need to do something about getting rid of these registering to vote a certain party before you go to vote. It just makes things stupid, if you ask me. Just for the simple fact that that's how you cheat. Because people can, I know in Texas you didn't have to vote on a party line for primary. In other words, if you voted for a Democrat for primary, you could vote for a Republican in the general election. So you didn't have to stick with party lines, which makes it easy, because if you wanted a specific Democrat that couldn't win, then you vote for him in the primary or her in the primary, and then you vote for your actual candidate in the general election. Then that's, to me, isn't just as much as a form of cheating as the it's just as much of a cheating as the voting machines and the mail-in ballots. So I can't find the map, the one that actually got passed. I want to see if I can find it, if it is the actual map or if they had to tweak it any. Oh my goodness. I mean, here is I don't know if you could see it very well, but it looks like this is the actual map that they came with. So here, see, this is where I don't get here. If this is their map, it's a newly proposed congressional district map as seen as the Senate. Okay, this is from August 8th, though. But where's the continuity in these districts? See, that doesn't make, so I'm gonna put it down. Let's see, we've got 25 minutes. Okay. I only got really one more. Get rid of this. I only got 2 more articles, and then we can. So I don't know if you guys remember this or not. This Kentucky judge from last year. So here's some information coming out on him that I don't think people realize. You see. So, do y'all remember this Kentucky judge? I think he was last year. I can't remember. Yeah, well, it says last year. I don't remember what month and everything. But anyway, Kentucky judge killed in chambers accused of trading sexual favors for influence at wild parties. So, District Court Judge Kevin Mullins was allegedly shot dead by Letcher County Sheriff Sean Steins in his chambers last year. Do anybody remember this? Does anybody remember this story about the judge? I think I do, but I think I remember it. I think it sounds familiar, but I'm not sure really. So the rural Kentucky judge who was allegedly gunned down in his chambers last year by a local sheriff possibly ran a scheme by which he demanded sexual favors from women to get them out of trouble, an accuser claims. Ty Adams told News Nation she would attend sex parties for District Court Judge Kevin Mullins and his friends in the small rural town of Whitesburg in exchange for money to get offenders out of trouble. Adams told News Nation's Banfield that Mullins had warned her to keep quiet about what was taking place. And doesn't he look like a prince? Let's see, and then that must be the deputy sheriff. So she said she felt she couldn't say no because she feared retribution from the legal system and Child Protective Services would upend her life. They would make sure to make you feel as small and degraded and belittled as possible to take your power away, Adams said. It was consensual. But it was the thing that we were so young, and then they used it against us to destroy our lives later. That was just a given, she added, and who would believe it anyway, because the whole town was doing it. No one cares. They're all swingers. It's a big party to them. It was just so normal. It wasn't immediately clear if Adams had a criminal history or CPS was familiar with her. Sarah Davis, a former deputy at the Letcher County Jail, told the news outlet she had never seen anyone initiating sex, but that the stories she heard were nasty and sickening. Pretty much everybody in the county knows, she said, but it was confirmed to me after working in the county jail, especially after being invited to a party myself. She described the lockup as a brothel where staffers had sexual encounters with each other and with inmates. Mullins invited Davis to a sex party once, but she said she declined. I was raised better than that, she said. Mullins, 54, was shot and killed September 19, 2024, attack inside his chambers, allegedly by Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins. Steins, who is no longer a sheriff, has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. Video footage of the shooting captured Steins shooting Mullins as he sat at his desk. The sheriff, the judge's longtime colleague and friend, allegedly continued to fire after Mullins fell to the floor. The two men had eaten lunch together hours earlier with a group, authorities said. At a preliminary hearing, Kentucky State Police Detective Clayton Stamper testified that Steins attempted to call his daughter on his phone, then on Mullins' phone. Steins' daughter was stored in Mullins' contacts, the Associated Press previously reported. So that's it, looks like. But I thought, wow. So that's kind of a follow-up on that story. So the sheriff is still waiting trial. Whatever happened to fair and speedy trial? I mean, what kind of, why are they waiting? So, we go from wire fraud, so now we go to another, here's a judge being accused after the fact, after he has been shot dead. Here's another, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So here we go. Former California Superior Court judge charged with sexual assault and obstruction offensive. This came out last Friday on the 22nd. So here we go. Justice Department announced that federal grand jury in Fresno returned a 5-count indictment yesterday charging former California Superior Court Judge Adolfo Corona, 66, with federal offenses for sexually assaulting a court employee, victim 1, making false statements to cover up the assault, and with obstructing the investigation into allegation that he sexually assaulted another county employee, victim 2, in his chambers. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet K. Dillon of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division, U.S. Attorney Eric Grant of the Eastern District of California, and Special Agent in Charge Siddhartha Patel of the FBI Sacramento Field Office made the announcement. The indictment alleges that on March 14, 2024, Corona, while serving as a California Superior Court judge, led victim 1 into a courthouse stairwell where he sexually assaulted her. The indictment further charges that Corona, during separate interviews with the FBI and court administrators made false statements about the circumstances of his assault on victim 1. Additionally, the indictment alleges that Corona obstructed the investigation. Corona. Who can make this up? Obstructed the investigation into allegations that he had sexually assaulted victim 2. Corona was alone with victim 2 in his chambers for approximately 2 hours on December the 5th of 2023. She was later found alone in the judge's chambers after being passed out. An indictment charges that Corona falsely told the FBI that he left victim 2 alone in his chambers while he drove to pick up a motorcycle. Corona allegedly attempted to persuade a motorcycle dealership employee to change company records to falsely reflect that he had picked up his motorcycle in order to corroborate his alibi. If convicted, Corona faces a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison with the sexual assault charges and 20 years on each of the obstruction charges. Any sentence, however, would be determined at the discretion of the court after consideration of any applicable statutory factors and the federal sentencing guidelines, which take into account a number of variables. The charges are only allegations. The defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So this case is the product of an investigation by the FBI and the Fresno County Sheriff's Office, Assistant U.S. Attorney Aaron Escobar and the Eastern District of California, and Special Litigation County Counsel Michael J. Songer of the Civil Rights Division's Criminal Section are prosecuting this case. Any information, call FBI, call Help FBI or 1-800-225-5324 or go to tips.fbi.gov. Man, you know what? This is such a United States Attorney's Office. This is such a handy link if anybody goes there, because you can get all sorts of stuff. You get to see a lot of the indictments that are happening. You see the fraud. It's like I said Saturday, you know. I think we're to the point where instead of going after the little fish, the guppies, we're starting to go to the sheephead, you know, the tuna. These judges are getting, excuse me, these government officials are getting kind of, they're getting a run for their money. Let's see, what is this? Okay, we already kind of talked about the national troops have already mobilized in 19 states, so I'm not gonna do that one. We got about 12 more minutes. Okay. So for those of you who stuck around, thank you for sticking around, and I hope lots of things, lots of information. I don't even bother a lot of with the breaking information anymore because there's so much happening behind the scenes that people don't realize that people just don't realize there's a lot going on. You know, people get upset over things, and I get it. I mean, yeah, I would like to see a lot of things happen too, but it's kind of, the rubber's meeting the road. Who are you going to support? It's okay to question things, but can you look at that 30,000 or 4,000 view? It's like if you weren't here earlier, and I started go to your phone, start looking at the look at the calendar. Start looking at your calendar. If you notice, after 2026, go to April 15th and see what is on your calendar on your phone on April the 15th. And so I think there are things happening that we're not seeing. Hey, Barty Beagle. So, and it just, and I notice on the calendar, there's other things on the calendar too that aren't. I'm seeing a lot more of the Hebrew. I don't know if you call them festivals, or I'm not sure what you would call them, holidays. But you're seeing that, so I really think we're either going to go back to the Hebrew calendar, or we're going back to the either the Hebrew calendar or the Julian calendar. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just assuming. Let's see, we got 10 more minutes. Let's see, should we wake people up? I'll wake people up. Should I wake people up? Should I do something to wake people up? Like I said, when Pocket decided to go belly up, or they which is where I had all my stuff sorted and everything. And separated and formatted. When they did that, it left me without, it took away all my playlists, so I have to build my playlist again. Because a lot of it was through the military, and just because I know I don't get dinged from the military on YouTube. Let's do this one. I kind of like this one. This is slow. I said I was gonna wake people up, but I think I just want to do a slow, mellow one. So.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one. This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. Sing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love in the will to trust. Leave the rest behind and turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
Let's see. Just curious to see what this one is. Still got. I don't know who's gonna come on, if anybody's gonna come on, but this looks like it's gonna kind of maybe 1 minute, not very long. I don't know. But I am not going to be able to stick around much longer. So. I don't know how long it took for somebody to come on last week, but I know I just, like I said, school starts and I have to get up in a few hours, and, believe it or not, by the time I get done, it's, by the time I get settled, and it's like if you ever been on an adrenaline high and it takes you a while just to come down from that adrenaline high. That's kind of how I am when I'm tired, and I don't think this is going to work very well. Let's see. Let's do this flag. If this one will work, if this one will show up. This may not, because it may be too much strain on my computer, but we can try it. If I could, I would do lefties losing it, but okay. Enjoy.
Does it make you feel the way I feel when it dances in the sky? When you place your hand against your heart, do you know the reason why? Is it just some kind of breeze from above, or does it make you think about the way?
Well, that was unexpected. I just decided it's gonna jump, skip, hop, skip, and a jump. Let's try this again.
Does it make you feel the way I feel when it dances in the sky? When you place your hand against your heart, do you know the reason why? Is it just some colored thread weaved from above, or does it make you think about the ones who sacrificed it all? This life, a picture painted in the wind, flowing through each generation, never giving in. This flag, it stands for more than just one thing. choose to burn it down. Well, if the ashes fly, no, I won't cry, 'cause it all comes back around to what it really means to be free and what is in your heart. So they can tear it all down to the ground, but that'll never tear us apart. This flag, a picture painted in the wind, blowing through each generation, never giving in. This flag, it stands for more than just one thing. It stands for life and liberty in you and me. It stands for everything. This flag, red, white, and blue, colors fade over time. What do they mean to you? Will you let it die? Please don't let it die. This flag, a picture painted in the wind, blowing through each generation, never giving in. This flag, it stands for more than just one thing. It stands for life and liberty in you and me. It stands for everything, yeah. It stands for life and liberty in you and me. It stands for everything. This
Okay. Hey, Dawn. Yes. My time is up at 2 or 5 a.m. Eastern. So I'm actually need to get out of here like right now because I gotta get up in a few hours. But one of the things I forgot, and I just thought about it when we're talking about the flag. The President Trump's executive order for the burning of the flag. I don't care what these stupid judges say. Burning the flag is not free speech. We have a flag code. There is a flag code. And the only time you burn a flag is you burn it if you're retiring that flag. You know, I remember growing up in school and everything. It's like, no, you do not let the you do not let the flag touch the ground. I mean, I knew people was like, oh, you can't let it. You got to burn it now. But it meant something in the 70s and 80s. This whole idea that it's okay to burn the flag. And then you got the guy who was put in jail for burning the pride flag. Now, my understanding is he may have taken that somebody else's flag and burned it. So I don't know if that is a possibility. But sure. Anyway, but yes, the stupidity of it all. Anyway, Dawn, if you're still listening, I know you're trying to jump in, but if you're listening, yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I have to get up and I have to go to work and take my grandson to school, I wouldn't have a problem doing an early morning 5-hour show. I've done it before. I've done 4 hours before anyway. I wouldn't mind doing that, but I gotta sleep sometime, and I've got to, because I still have to get up in a few hours and take my grandson to school. So it's just, I just can't stay for the whole time. But anyway. So guys, thank you, chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me, and but yeah, I appreciate all your support, chat. I appreciate for those who've been able to help me. I put my 2 links to my Rumble and my YouTube. So please, keep watch out for my especially my Rumble, because I do a live. I've been doing live stream for my Bible study. Unfortunately, I do not have a set schedule. That's another thing I wish I could do. I could do it on a set schedule. My grandson asked me the other day what would be my ideal job, and my ideal job would just to be able to do my Bible study, which would be to help out more with PSB whenever I can. But when you have family obligations and then work, and it just makes it difficult. Good morning, Dawn. How are you today? I think she's still trying to get on.
Sorry, Deb, I was getting grabbing a coffee.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. How are you today?
Good. So who was supposed to be on? You don't know?
Well, Poe had been doing it, so I don't know if he stepped away. But yeah, this has been this block, I guess you could call it, has been up for grabs for quite some time, ever since.
Well, usually Amy's on, right? But she's on her holiday or something.
No, I haven't seen Amy on Thursday mornings, so I think she's on Wednesday mornings, I believe. But I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, usually, I mean, if I'm up, thing is, see, I usually have to leave now that school has started. Sometimes I have to leave at 6:30, but I don't have to do anything today, so
that's
I'm
nice.
good until probably Pam comes in for the reset. I think I want to play that. Have you ever heard of the guy from the Y Files? He always does like the bizarre stuff with Hecklefish.
No, I really don't have time to search out people.
Yeah, he's got like a variety of different things that he talks about, but he was on Sean Ryan. I've been meaning to do that. I was going to do it Saturday into Sunday, but I didn't. And good morning, chat. So, but I'm up. So if you want to leave, you're good.
Sounds good. Yeah, Vinny. Yeah, when they bird the flag, I don't hear physical speech coming from the mouth. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm tired to figure that one out. Sorry.
I don't think it's free speech to burn the flag. I don't think our flag should have anything to do with free speech. What is it? Free of burning our flag?
All right. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if you heard me, but what I said just now is like, I don't know what judge who in the world on the Supreme Court, or when they decided that burning the flag was free speech. But there's a flag code. There's already a law on how to deal with American flag. And burning, and in fact, these people that wear the flag, well, it's one thing to wear the flag colors, but when you wear like the flag, that goes against code. So all these T-shirts and everything, that's actually against the code. But yeah, it just frustrates me that these people think that it's okay to burn our American flag. And then you got these idiots. I'm sorry. I'm going to be very, I'm tired, and I'm just like, But these idiots out there that are protesting ICE and they're waving a different country's flag. I'm like, why are you waving? That is an invasion. That is showing your true colors. That is showing you do not have. It's like, why are you trying to come into this country so hard when you want to honor your country of origin?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just.
Well, that's like Congress needs to really come out with something to end Sharia law, period. It will never be accepted in America. And I think we might have some of the Muslims would be leaving. But we don't even know if we have like hidden Sharia law areas in our country because nobody's really looked into it. Ilhan, her district, the Somalias. I mean, do they do Sharia law up there?
Pretty sure they do, but
Right.
I don't know if you caught it, but Ilhan Omar is there's been indictments and there's been 52 arrests and indictments on people. It's called, oh gosh, I keep forgetting it. I just read it too. It's an NGO that they had this money laundering. They were feeding the children, right? It was a feeding the children type thing, and she promoted it. And they were all Somalians. She's Somalian. So they are stealing from us too. It's not just that she committed fraud to get into Congress, but they're stealing from us. So we need to get rid of, we just need to, no, I can't say that word because if I do, someone might come after me. But Congress just needs to be cleaned out completely. We need to start
Well,
all over.
I think if they would expose the voter fraud, we could clean a lot of people out in Congress that way,
Yeah. Well, I would like to, I don't know if you've ever heard, but when my brother-in-law passed away back in November last year, I found out from my sister, who apparently found out from his supervisor, he was the lead investigator into election fraud. I'd like to know what he found out, what his report said. And apparently the day before he passed away, because he passed away on Veterans Day, he sent some sort of email report to his supervisor. So I don't know what his conclusion was. I really wish I knew. But yeah, he well, it wasn't voter fraud. She said voter integrity. So from all the way back to 2018.
Yeah. I mean, and we don't even know. I mean, I know that Obama probably got in that first term because, I mean, a lot of people voted for Obama on his first term because, I think they thought that, there was going to be a change. I voted for Obama the first time, but I didn't on the second. And he could have very well not have even won on the second. We don't know. But
Well,
I don't like to admit that I did vote for him, but I did. So don't think ill of me, Chad. Don't think ill of me.
I didn't vote for him the first or second time. I thought about voting for him just because I've always voted Republican, and I just like, I just wanted to do something different. But I had a friend, a coworker. I call her a friend. She was more of a coworker than a friend. She said he will not put his hand on the heart. And when she said that, and she's African American. And when I said that, I was so that made me kind of, put my antenna up, and I started watching, and I realized no, so I didn't vote for him. So I knew. I mean, I don't know what it is about the Democrats. I just, unfortunately, with I did vote for the two Bushes. I always thought there's something about the Democrats. I always just, it's like, Dracula and the cross, put them out in the sunlight and watch them melt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, I'm
All
going
right,
to go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead and get out of here. Enjoy
Yeah.
your day. And yeah, anytime I'm up, just let me know when you got to leave. I guess I'll know 5 you should, have to leave, but if I'm up. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, like I said, if it wasn't for the fact I have to get up, pick up my grandson, go take him to school, and then I wouldn't mind doing a 5-hour shift, and then I could come back and sleep, but I have to go into work too, so, and,
God, that's
and right
terrible.
now, and it takes me, once I get off, it takes me at least 30 minutes just to kind of wind down because the adrenaline's going.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. It's like work.
yeah. Okay.
Even though it's not, it's fun. It's fun to do this, guys. You should really, anybody that has, even if you could just jump in for like, half hour or something, you don't start off all by yourself until you feel like you're ready. So, I mean, you know, that was probably the fear with me, like, oh my God, I'll be by myself, but no, you don't be by yourself until until you feel you're ready. But
And we definitely got plenty of spots that people are, would be willing, I'm sure, willing to give up because, like, early morning spots, and we got some early morning spots. There's a lot of places that we can fill in, and just get in touch with Erin, and she'll help you. Okay, with that being said, I'm out of here. So have a
all right,
great show,
sweetie.
Dawn, and thank you.
All right. Oh, you're welcome. Have a great day.